Information is power.
NPR busted framing self-defense getaway from gun-toting protesters as right-wing attack. People with guns come out in the road, block the car, jump on it. We'll show you the footage. And NPR gets a screenshot of it. NPR gets a screenshot of it and says, white supremacist attack. Why don't we also cue up Savannah Hernandez when she has to save the white dude from getting beaten to a pulp after he's already been punched twice in the face by the big black dudes? I mean, would that be an extremist, white extremist attack as well? What I'm going to do is, next segment, I'm going to get into the cult program, the blueprint, the end game of the globalist and where they want to take us, and the article in the Wall Street Journal looking forward to the end of humanity. But let me now get into NPR caught in another hoax. Now, you'll remember about 2 weeks ago, I did a joke video where we pretend to attack somebody's car. And I say the first car we see is a white supremacist, block the car, jump on the car, then say the car ran us over and call the police. We're all going to be heroes. This is how we become Jussie Smollett. And I did that because I've seen, and you've seen, so many videos where Black Lives Matter or Antifa just run out in the middle of a highway, a road, you name it, and start jumping on people's vehicles over and over and over again, and then saying that they were hit. Think about that. And the media goes with it and will say, look at this shock footage from Indianapolis as an extremist tries to run people over. And then in many of the cases, it turns out they're not even white. They just come up and people start attacking their car and they just try to slowly drive through it because they're scared. And we have footage of people being blocked who get out and say, I love Black Lives Matter, but I got to get home. Bam, in the face. And then you try to put that on Facebook or Twitter and they block people from seeing it because they don't want you to know what they're really doing. Powerful billionaires that run trillion-dollar companies, Apple, Google, Facebook, Twitter, trying to suppress what you can say and what you can do when you're being abused and you're being attacked. Well, NPR just got caught in it big time. Here's the National File story. It's also up on Infowars.com. NPR busted framing self-defense getaway from gun-toting protesters as right-wing attack. People with guns come out in the road, block the car, jump on it. We'll show you the footage. And NPR gets a screenshot of it. NPR gets a screenshot of it and says, white supremacist attack. Why don't we also cue up Savannah Hernandez when she has to save the white dude from getting beaten to a pulp after he's already been punched twice in the face by the big black dudes? I mean, would that be an extremist, white extremist attack as well? This is what the left's doing all over the country, is trying to carjack vehicles using guns, and it's normally racially targeted, a real hate crime. I think all crimes are hate crime. And this is what NPR did. NPR, here's a screenshot of it, cropped the image, put it out, and said that white people tried to run over an innocent black person. But you just saw, as a TV viewer, the real surveillance camera footage of what happened. So they even used surveillance camera footage and crop it and edit it. They knew it was a lie. Now they've gone in and edited it and put in an image of Charlottesville and video of Charlottesville. They've now updated and are saying this is basically a current attack going on. That's how desperate the left is to stage a crisis. When I say stage it, I'm not saying the white people in the car were part of it. I'm saying you go out and run out in front of cars and start trying to grab people out of their vehicles, you're going to get run over. I mean, if I'm driving and you're trying to knock my window out, and you're trying to pull me out, and you got a gun, of course I'm going to press on the accelerator and get out of there. You're lucky I'm doing that. I'll open my glove compartment and pull out a 9mm on your ass. I might do that. But that's what's going on. It's like Road Warrior out there. So let's go ahead and roll this video and this audio. This is of actual right-wing terrorists in Austin a few weeks ago attacking an innocent group of Austinites who were just peacefully on the sidewalk trying to live their lives. Because I'm going to pretend like I'm NPR. NPR, all things considered, we're now going to show for our TV viewers on our online simulcast at pbs.org, shocking footage in Austin, Texas this weekend as right-wing terrorists in an armored vehicle attempted to run down peaceful activists. Here's the video and audio.
Fuck you! Yeah, you are! You fascist piece of shit! Do not believe that! They are Fuck you! Fuck you!
For the first time in 30 years, Americans have launched a rocket into space. Into space. We went to space today. We shouldn't be out here rioting and complaining. We should be celebrating America's greatness. Together. Why are you attacking this vehicle? Why are you attacking this vehicle? What are you guys doing? Get the fuck out of here! What do you think you're doing out here? Why are you attacking innocent people? Look at what the media.
And they came out, they blocked the road, they put metal under the tires, they took a hammer to the windows, they were saying, we're going to kill you. That's how they would turn this around. That's how they would frame this. Now, let's go ahead and play this starting over. Savannah Hernandez sees the major highway shutdown on the feeder ramp to I-35. This is 2.5 weeks ago. And black dudes beating up a white guy that's worshiping them, saying, I love Black Lives Matter. I'm an evil white person. I admit it. I worship you. But you've blocked traffic for 30 minutes. Can I just get home? Boom in the face, cracker. And then it happens again and again, so Savannah gets in their faces. This is what's going on in America. Here it is.
I walked up, I was walking through 6th Street, was like, oh, it's chill. Nothing going on. Everybody was chilling.
So again, in America, hoodlums and thugs come, block you. If you politely grovel to them and say, I worship you, he actually said that. You know, I love Black Lives Matter. The big black guy punches him in the face. He tries to get his glasses off the ground, punch him in the face again, and Savannah has to come up and get in the guy's face and back him off. He threatened to physically attack her. He's a real tough guy. And hundreds of people backed up in their cars sit there and watch full-grown men block the road and beat people up. Then Antifa, minutes later, began burning down the homeless camp just 100 yards away, and the news, including CBS San Antonio, said I did it with no proof. Again, next level evil. It isn't just NPR. that says white supremacists are running over black people everywhere. It's the local news saying these are peaceful demonstrations, and that if you don't like your car being surrounded, if you don't like having hammers beat your windows out, if you just roll forward when people are screaming, die, die, I'm going to kill you, with guns in their hands, I forgot that part, well, you're the bad guy. That's the media. That's the system that's been set up. And that's where we're going. And that's why there's an article right here out of CNN saying Generation Z wants revolution now. And they're saying you will capitulate because we're about to get violent and we're going to start physically attacking you. Look at this headline. Some white people may have to die for black communities to be made whole. Far left UGA teaching assistant on Black Lives Matter movement. Meanwhile, this story is linked up on drudgereport.com from Infowars.com. Black Lives Matter theme show depicts whites as slaves, blacks as slave owners. The program's called Cracker. And it's about how whites are inherently evil and whites are inherently bad. This is waging war on common sense, creating racial division on a mass scale. And the entire corporate media with big tech is lined up to oppress and lie and create total and complete division and show simulations of white people attacking black people when it's not real, so blacks feel like they've got to go out and attack white people. Everything the globalist social engineers are doing is a form of psychological warfare. Plain and simple. Teaching you to hate your past, teaching you to get on your knees or on your belly and announce that you're a bad person because you're white. Muhammad Ali's son has come out and said that Black Lives Matter are wicked devils, and his father would hate them for saying that one group's more important or better than another. I mean, if you believe in what Martin Luther King was talking about and just that common sense, the whole West has been built on that and trying to move towards that, and now the left has taken it over and is teaching the opposite, but claiming they represent Western liberal open societies when they don't. They represent the Jacobin left-hand path that is there to destroy and overthrow free societies because they can't compete with it. That's why there's all of these different professors coming out and saying, we need to have no whites on campus this weekend, or this area of the campus is not for whites. Think about accepting that in the name of, oh, learn what it's like for what happened to somebody else. So does that mean that if a white man ever murdered somebody, I need to be murdered? Or what if it's 10-to-1 black on white crime? Does that mean random black people need to be killed because some black people do bad things? And the media tells them go out and do it? Go out and assault white people because they deserve it. And then NPR, when you assault a white person, will say they assaulted you. And they won't even get in trouble when they get caught because they're going for broke, ladies and gentlemen. When people come with guns to carjack a vehicle and scare the person with a gun pointed at them on record, and the person drives off scared, NPR cuts the video and says that they're white supremacists. Also, people like this individual, quote, some white people may have to die for black communities to be made whole, says this UGA professor teaching assistant, Irami O.C. Fongpong of the University of Georgia. By the way, the Georgia legislature has already passed part of a resolution to abolish the police. They're not going to abolish them. They're going to take them over. And then you will have a police state. You'll have SJWs in uniform. Here, let's go ahead and play a local news report on this. Here it is.
Some UGA alumni are saying they are thinking about withholding donations after a university employee made some racially charged comments. Channel 2's Tony Thomas is live in Athens. That's where the teacher's assistant is standing by his words, Tony, even as his bosses consider legal options.
Yeah, Jovita, when this all started, the university administrator's first statements were basically that this was a teacher's assistant making personal comments not directly related to UGA. Now, though, as these comments have gone viral, well, reactions are changing.
We have to wonder what else is in the water.
Have you heard about this teacher's assistant at the university? The online comments and videos of UGA teacher's assistant Irami Osei-Frampong are spreading rapidly.
There's got to be a reason why he's saying that. You know, he's not just being that crazy.
Osei-Frampong, who calls himself the funky academic online, recently commented on Facebook, some white people may have to die for black communities to be made whole, and fighting white people is a skill.
I didn't advocate for violence. I was just honest about the history of racial progress.
I asked Osei-Frampong about his comments and university administrators who say they are, quote, vigorously exploring all legal options about his words.
If they fire me, I don't think it goes very well for them.
But the pressure appears to be mounting. This is a confrontation last September between Osei-Frampong and then UGA student Andrew Lawrence.
You said that every suburban community in Georgia raises white supremacists. How can you possibly say that?
Lawrence now lives in D.C. and recently posted the video as he called for alumni to stop donating to the university until action is taken.
I feel like the things that he's saying are inciting violence. They invite the idea into people's minds.
Some white people may have to die.
You stick with that?
Yeah, I'm confused on why that's so controversial.
Now, in its latest statement, UGA administrators wrote, "We are seeking guidance from the Office of the Attorney General as to what actions we can legally consider in accordance with the First Amendment." Live in Athens, Tony Thomas, Channel 2 Action News.
And, of course, this guy wouldn't survive 10 minutes in Somalia or Rwanda. And, by the way, he doesn't care that the Clintons funded the murder of over 1 million Somali Christians so their land could be taken. And it came out the UN ran that. They didn't just stand by and let it happen. Oh, that's just 1 million dead black people. I don't care about that because I'm really just a black communist that wants to get a civil war going. That's really what this guy wants. But don't worry, Black Lives Matter themed show depicts whites as slaves, blacks as slave owners. How does reinventing something that's wrong make it right? It's all just about white people are bad and parading white people around to be shamed. You raped our daughters. You stole our freedom. Now we steal yours. And showing a bunch of degenerate white people that deserve to be enslaved in this type of violence porn. And they've got all these movies and all these shows. The Purge, where whites go out and purge black people. But really, it's the left out purging random people out of their cars. But Hollywood just keeps showing simulations of white people killing black people, though the statistics aren't there, to create the illusion and the perception that when I was on one of the largest black podcasts in the country, the black rapper T.I. looked at me and he said, "There's an epidemic. There's never been more black people getting killed by whites." And during breaks, I was trying to show him, hey, man, look, it's 10-to-1 statistics. Oh, I don't look at that. And I said, well, you know, the 10-to-1 is a real number of black adults killing white people. But I said, you know, the real genocide is blacks are being targeted for abortion. He didn't even want to hear that. He didn't even want to know that. Because, again, that's not the script where the media tells him you're the victim, but you're empowered when you spout this script. When really you're allowing genocide against humanity to go on while you talk about the scratch on your leg. And that's what's really going on here. Here's some of the other ones. Multiple people shot during Juneteenth celebration in Charlotte, North Carolina. But it's black on black, so you won't be hearing about that. 3 fatally stabbed at site of Black Lives Matter protest in UK. Black on black, but you won't hear about that. Superheroes handling chopped law enforcement flee murder scene. Yeah, there's video of when somebody actually starts murdering folks, black on black. The white kids dressed up as superheroes run. See, it's called a fantasy land. Orban shocked by disorder in multicultural West. Statues are being toppled. Gang wars fought in the streets, and boy, are they. Meanwhile, cancel Yale gaining traction after conservative points out extensive slavery ties, that Yale was actually founded by a slaver who actually did kill people in mass and actually ran the coffin ships. But so what? If you take it over, whether you're black or white, you go to school there, it doesn't matter who created or built a house. If a bad guy built a castle, would you blow it up when you now are in the castle? Again, this is just mental illness, ladies and gentlemen. No, don't get rid of Yale. I mean, I don't even care if you change the name. Skull and Bones, all of it's a big sick joke. And meanwhile, they're now announcing that CHOP is only for black people and they're segregating blacks from whites. How progressive, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we'll go to the bottom of the rabbit hole, I promise. The big enchilada on the other side. Please stay with us.